Alright, this is it, my updated S-Class Hero disaster levels, and it's been a couple months since I last made a video on this subject, but a lot has happened since then, so I think it's about time we take a look back on these characters and reassess what their disaster levels are. But in order to do that, I'm going to have to get into some serious webcomic spoilers, so that's way past the manga, way past season 2, so if you don't want to know what's going to happen in the story, I suggest you get out of here. So I'm sure most of us by now are familiar with what disaster levels are. They're basically a classification given to an individual based on the threat they pose to people or an area and everything in between. But it's actually not that black and white. It's actually pretty nuanced because according to the Hero Association, a disaster level is actually an aggregate measure of danger, taking into consideration the monster's damage capabilities, aggressiveness, difficulty of extermination, and etc. So I'm pretty much going to be taking a look at the feats and the abilities of the S-Class heroes and translating them into the variables that we have here in order to come up with what their disaster level could be. But also let me mention that there are no official disaster levels on the heroes, since they're usually reserved for monsters and significant threats to society, so naturally a hero wouldn't be assigned one. However, we do get a comparative scale between the hero ranks and disaster levels. So according to the Hero Association, disaster level demon is equatable to 10 A-class heroes or 1 S-class hero. So that means that the S-class heroes at the minimum are going to be disaster level demons, so we're going to be working from there and going up. However, we unfortunately do not get a comparative scale for disaster level dragon. Let me also mention that I'm going to be talking about the most current, strongest version of these characters, so if one of them is stronger in the manga than what they are in the webcomic, I'm going to be talking about their manga version, and I might grab some details from the webcomic to supplement them. But otherwise, that's all I'm going to be doing here, and vice versa, of course. You know, if a character is stronger in the webcomic than they are in the manga, I'll talk about that. And also, I'm not going to be going over every single feat in detail about these characters. I got to keep this video as concise as possible. So let's start off with AMAI Mask, who I consider to be the unofficial 18th S-Class hero. So he's one of the best among them, in my opinion. Certainly one of the highest levels of physical strength we have seen so far. He was able to hold up that building debris with one arm, a comparable feat to that of KNGHT Master, whose thing is all about strength, and this is just one aspect of AMAI Mask's game. Also, he's able to hold up that gigantic boulder that he threw at Black S. That's another incredible strength feat. Easily busted through Narinki's private squad, who had the Paradiser's armor, so they are no jokes. Also, he low diffed Super S, who in the webcomic he put her head through the wall, but in the manga I guess it's implied that he's like crushing her skull with his hand. Pretty savage. And also the fact that he can fight against Black S, which is like, I don't know, mid-diff for him. It didn't really seem like it was a problem for him taking on Black S. You know, he busted through the huge hand that he created, busted his face up. He's also fighting Black S at the same time that he's like fighting against Evil Natural Water. A pretty damn impressive feat from AMAI Mask here. We saw his speed at the concert when he was like Flashy Flash style moving through those fodder dudes. And he's also fast enough to just straight up avoid the water jets of Evil Natural Water at times. And only the fastest characters are really capable of doing this. His durability is insane. He took a savage beating from Fura Ugly where he essentially put up no resistance. Like he just curled up in a ball and just took a beat down. And came away from that really no problem. He was able to survive getting shot through the frigging chest by Evil Natural Water and regenerated from it. Also, his arm came off, and he regened from that. He survived getting his face caved in by Awakened Garo, regen from that. And also, I've just been saying regen, but he also has the crazy regeneration ability. Like, there's not many weaknesses to AMAI Mask outside of his Ugmon weakness. But aside from that, he's one of the best heroes and one of the most powerful in my opinion. So all of this together, I gotta put AMAI Mask at the minimum of a mid-dragon, but the manga might make him out to be a high dragon. I mean, you maybe could interpret him being a high dragon from his webcomic feats. So if he is a mid-dragon, then he's one of the strongest mid-dragons, if not the strongest one. But if he's a high dragon, he's likely the weakest high dragons of them, if that makes sense. But regardless, AMAI Mask is incredibly powerful. Puri Prisoner. So he's like received 2 power-ups since Chapter 105, and he was already implied to be training before that. So he's become significantly more powerful since the last time I looked at his disaster level. Last time I think I rated him at around high demon, but I think he is for sure a dragon. at this point in the story. So I guess a low dragon, it's really up to you to decide, but the fact that he can low diff 2 demons, like with those barrage of punches that he did that wound up exploding them. It's also said by Murata, you know, this infamous quote, that the demon that he defeats in Chapter 94 is allegedly as powerful as Deep Sea King. Really debatable if there is any merits to that, but regardless, Murata did say it, so it's kind of showing us that Puri Prisoner has improved immensely. So the fact that he could destroy them, I guess low diff to mid diff, it seemed low diff to me. Also just touching the pillars on the wall in Chapter 105, like completely shattered it and destroyed it, so that's an insane display of strength as well. And also the fact that he can tank being punched in the face by that monster that is allegedly as strong as Deep Sea King. He tanks that full-on blast from Vacuma. These are 2 demons, guys. So this is like pretty impressive for Puri Prisoner here. So if he's dealing with demons like this, then I doubt that he himself is on the level of demon at this point. Also, he takes that gigantic slash from Nian and survives it, doesn't even fall down from it. And then seemingly regenerates from it. So does he have like regeneration abilities now? On top of the bristle armor that he's getting, on top of the quote-unquote vibration power that he learned, it's also giving him the ability to swim through concrete. Apparently he's fast enough to keep up with Neon, more or less. Yeah, all of this, I'm thinking Puri Prisoner is definitely a dragon at this point, and he might even be showing himself to be stronger as the story goes on in the manga. Tank Top Master. So, unfortunately, I think Tank Top Master is currently the weakest S-Class hero, and last time I gave him a disaster level of High Demon, and I don't think anything has really changed. He still is a High Demon, in my opinion. Some people put him at Mid Demon. I'm not going to do him barely like that. I do think he is capable of the high demon echelon, but nothing has changed. Like, he just still hasn't had any more feats than what he originally had, and he hasn't got any more screen time. So the feats that he has of one arm holding up that huge piece of debris thrown at Boros' ship, still impressive. The beatdown that he put on Garo, still impressive. You know, he could smash the ground with a punch, he could do the tank top tackle, all significant stuff, but it's just not enough. And he has yet to have, like, a redeeming feat to him, so until he does something more, which isn't going to be for a while, I still have him at High Demon, and likely the weakest S-Class hero, especially with Puri's recent power-up. Metal Bat. So I think it's difficult to really gauge how strong he could be, and what his accurate disaster level is, because we're only really going off of the implications of his power, and I don't think this is in the same vein as Metal Knight, who actually has evidence backing up his claims, as where Metal Bat just has hype and some quotes on his side. But regardless, he's able to bash around Melzergard, who is a dragon-level alien. He can one-shot the demons in Senior Centipede and Raffle Sidon. He can stop Elder Centipede mid-charge from swinging his bat at him. He can break the ground like Tank Top Master and have cars bouncing and send shockwaves off buildings. And if he gets pushed far enough with his fighting spirit ability, he can just one-shot Garo. Just kill him with one strike to his head. So that's pretty damn impressive, but also it says that when his anger and his fighting spirit reaches its maximum, he approaches infinity in power. So take that for what you will, but we haven't seen that happen yet. Like I said, we only have what it could be. So does that mean Metal Bat is disaster level god? No. Does it mean he is at the minimum of a dragon based off of all the feats we have seen? For sure. But what dragon is he? Is he a low dragon? Is he a mid dragon? Is he a high dragon? Is he above dragon? It remains to be seen, but I suppose we will find out. But as of right now, I'm just going to label Metal Bat as a dragon. That's it. Not low, not mid. He's just a dragon, and his power increases as the fight goes on. GENOS. So we have yet to see Genos' current form in the manga in battle yet, but it is said by Dr. Kuseno to be stronger than his previous form against Elder Centipede, and that all of the power in this form is going to his offense, and that there is no balancing whatsoever. So all of the crazy feats that you saw their Centipede Genos do, you know, the Spiral Incineration Cannon, the Helix Overload, whatever he did inside of Elder Centipede, that has all been up to the next level. So he is crazy powerful at this point. It remains to be seen if he is even more of a glass cannon at this point, but I'm assuming he is, since all of his power is going into offense and there was no balancing. But regardless, he is certainly at the dragon level, because if he wasn't a dragon at Elder Centipede's fight, he was pushing the boundary of it, and I think he is totally on that level now. I mean, if we're comparing Daedric Genos' current manga form, that's the term that I like to call him, to his webcomic form currently, which is Lightning Core Genos, Dr. Guseno said that the Lightning Core Genos is capable of fighting against dragons, so we can assume that he is a dragon level in the Neo Heroes arc, which is currently happening. So I assume that Daedric Genos, the current manga Genos, is for sure dragon level, but it remains to be seen how strong he is exactly. Flashy Flash, easily one of the strongest S-Class heroes. He's the fastest among them by far, and one of the most durable, surprisingly. So, of course, we saw he defeated 2 dragons at the same time in Hellfire and Gale. Also, he's able to fight against Awakened Garo better than all of the other S-Class heroes. Actually took a strike, a hard kick from Awakened Garo and got up from it. Pretty damn impressive. But recently, in the webcomic, we saw that he was fighting against Saitama just as impressively as anyone else before him has. I mean, he was putting on a performance similar to that of, like, released form Boros, at least in my opinion. Of course, he wasn't hitting or doing any damage to Saitama, but the speed, the reflexes, and just overall performance was really impressive. And before I had Flashy Flash at a high dragon, but his performance against Saitama is making me think that he might be above dragon. It's up in the air at this point, but at the minimum, Flashy Flash is high dragon for sure. Very few characters who can deal with the package that he brings. Watchdog Man, we don't really have any feats that solidify how strong he is exactly, but I can put him at the minimum of a dragon here based off of how he effortlessly took care of Hero Hunter Garo, and the fact that he just rips and bursts through monsters, and is implied that he is the sole defender of Q City. And based off of that, I'm guessing that he has to be a dragon at the minimum to be putting in the amount of work that he has. But like I said, we have yet to see him take a strike. We have yet to see him be pushed, tested even remotely. So whatever Watchdog Man's true power is, we're not going to find out for a very long time. SUPERALLOY Darkshine, easily one of the strongest S-Class heroes. He was picked to be the protector of the Hero Association headquarters. He could pick up train cars like baseball bats. He one-shotted 6-armed Bug God, who was possibly a low dragon. He soloed Carnage Mode Carnage Kabuto after 15 minutes of using his full strength. He broke Pre-Woke Garo's ribs. He has the highest durability of all of the S-Class heroes, at least from what we have seen so far. His strength seems to be at the highest level, his physical strength. His speed is really unknown, but he's able to hang with Awakened Garo. Speaking of Awakened Garo, he's able to take a shot from him and get up after it. SUPERALLOY Darkshine is insane, easily a high dragon. I don't really think this is debatable. Pig God. So he's essentially capable of one-shotting demons in his own way, like he eats Eyesight and the Great Food Tub very easily and very quickly. So, I mean, that's indicative of how strong he is right there, I guess. But he's also can physically struggle with Gums, who is one of the executives, but doesn't really do much after that and just gets wrecked by Gums, but is able to survive and take the beating, so that's pretty impressive. Also, he's able to bust through walls. He tanks poison from Eyesight, like no problem. And he tanks getting shot with water streams from inside of his own stomach after eating the evil natural water, and is okay after it. There's something special about Pig God that we don't know about yet, but whatever he is doing makes him dragon at the minimum. I mean, just the fact that he can eat the demons with ease and compete against Gums. I mean, come on, he's got to be a dragon at that point. Drive Knight. So we know very little about him. He has like 1 feat, and it's when he sliced up those fodders using his silver transformation, but it was still pretty impressive of what he's capable of. So him being an S-Class hero at the minimum makes him a demon, like I said earlier. But maybe he's a dragon because in the 3rd audiobook, or at least I think it's the 3rd audiobook, he defeats Genos in like this exhibition match. It's not really serious, but he defeats him nonetheless, so I guess that's kind of telling of how powerful he is. Also, it is said that he's never lost a fight, so I don't know, maybe a dragon. It remains to be seen, but I'm assuming that he is one of the stronger S-Class heroes just because of the hype and the mysteriousness around him. Could be wrong, but we'll see what happens. Zombieman. So he surprisingly has one of the best records of all of the S-Class heroes, or at least the records that we know of. So initially he was able to defeat a monster after fighting it for 140 hours straight. We saw him defeat the demon level Pure Blood in Chapter 101. Very impressive. But of course, famously, he was able to defeat Carnage Mode Carnage Kabuto in the VGS after fighting him for 7 days straight. And then, of course, he defeats Homeless Emperor after taking all of his best shots to the face. So that's like 2 possible demons and then 2 dragons for just Zombieman by himself. Pretty damn impressive. He has the highest endurance of all of the S-Class heroes and the best regeneration ability easily. And he's strong enough to bend steel bars. So as of right now, I don't know how to kill Zombieman. I mean, we saw his brain get destroyed and it came back. He got quote-unquote turned to mincemeat and that came back. We all thought that turning him to mincemeat would defeat him because of that alleged quote from one about him, but I have yet to find that quote or to even find clarification on that quote. So as of right now, there's really no way to defeat Zombieman. And then based off of just his difficulty of extermination, he's a dragon. I mean, come on, guys. King. So King's ability is to manipulate reality. He is unstoppable until proven otherwise. Disaster level god. Metal Knight. So we've only really seen one of his robots in battle so far, but that one robot is pretty powerful. It's likely like a mid to high demon just by itself. I mean, just off of its abilities that we saw in Chapter 21, but also the result of the explosion of its missiles when he shot against the Meteor and against Elder Centipede. Just the vicinity of them is insane for one robot. And the data book says that he has at least 100 of these robots. That's insane. That's just lowballing it. He probably has more than that. So imagine 100 of these friggin' robots going against anyone or going against a city or something. It's insane. But also it is said by Giro Giro that he is only one of 4 heroes who can defeat Elder Centipede. His full arsenal is unknown, and it is a fear to the Hero Association. We also saw that he has that huge construction robot that resembles the AT-AT Walker, which made collateral damage out of Tank Top Master. And also now he is in possession of Boros' ship and is likely re-engineering it to make him even stronger. All of this together, Metal Knight is at the minimum, I think, a high dragon based off of his ability to defeat Elder Centipede, or at least a claim of it. But that's kind of lowballing him. I think he's for sure above dragon, but it's very possible that he winds up being disaster level god by the end of the series. Child Emperor. So I think he has one of the most significant and powerful abilities or weapons, whatever you want to call it, in the series. And I'm talking about his backpack. There's like really no rules to this thing. It has anything he really wants or needs to solve any kind of problem he has, which is integral to his overall ability of super intelligence. But also the Okami mask reads his physical strength or physicality at 1880, which is 280 points more than the A-class hero Stinger. So there is physical significance to Child Emperor. He's not just a brain. I mean, we saw that he was able to survive that strike from Resurrected Phoenix Man in Chapter 98. I mean, he did block it with a shield, but still he's a little kid taking that, and he kind of got up no problem after it. Also, he has Brave Giant, which in that thing makes him at the minimum of a mid-dragon, maybe a high dragon in that thing. All of this together makes Child Emperor for sure one of the strongest S-Class heroes. And I'm thinking, you know, along with Brave Giant, of course, he's got to be hovering around High Dragon. Atomic Samurai. Just like Child Emperor, he has one of the most significant abilities in the series in the Atomic Slash. Definitely one of the strongest and best techniques. But that's pretty much all he has, and it kind of makes Atomic Samurai a glass cannon in my opinion. So of course, he had an excellent performance against Melzergard, who was a dragon. We saw him take care of Haragiri very impressively, and even more impressively took care of Rhino Wrestler. But that's about it. Atomic Samurai really has yet to take care of a dragon by himself, but he is fast enough to block Sonic Strike in the 3rd audiobook, I think he does it. And then of course we see him dodge Evil Natural Water's water jet, so that's pretty impressive. But without his sword, he can't really do much, and we saw that he took a beating from Black S. Although that was a bad matchup, he still wasn't able to do much. His durability seems standard. So I'm going to give Atomic Samurai like a mid-dragon level just based off of his Atomic Slash and his speed. I mean, that is extremely difficult to deal with. You need to be really powerful in order to overcome Atomic Samurai, or at least have like some kind of regeneration ability. Silver Fang, just like in Flashy Flash and SUPERALLY Darkshine, he is among the elite of the S class. He hit Melzergard harder than anyone else before him. He low-diffed a demon in Fistfight Jin, destroyed Hero Hunter Garo. He defeated Darkshine and Metal Bat in sparring, and he one-shotted 3 executives, killed Gums, killed Fear Ugly, and destroyed Black S unlike anyone before that. Once he uses his abandonment, he's like pushing above Dragon, but before that, he's a solid high Dragon. I don't think this is debatable either. Tatsumaki, she's almost unfairly powerful, so her feats in the Boros invasion arc are insane. Like the way that she's able to stop all of those bullets come down and send it back at the ship. Also all of the rubble that she's able to lift up and throw at the ship. Murata says that she can lift the entire Z city. We also see her pull the Monster Association out of the friggin' ground. She low diffs Giro. She pretty much fights all of the executives at once and is doing well until she's blindsided by Psychos. She can even hold Awakened Garo still while she's weakened, and she can psychically lift Saitama, which is unheard of. One of the craziest feats of power in the series. She's super fast too, not just by flying, but her reflexes are pretty fast too, because when Golden S does the Raging Demon Ultra Instinct thing to her, at the last second she's able to throw up a shield and protect herself from dying, essentially. And also that shield, the barrier that she has, is insane. In Chapter 94, we saw that like a building falling on it couldn't even break it. So yeah, Tatsumaki is insane, easily above Dragon. If there was ever an above Dragon amongst the heroes, it is her. Blast. So Blast is the #1 S-class hero. I think that's all you really need to know about how powerful he is. He's superseding all of these characters that we just talked about, including Tatsumaki. Single-handedly, he defeated Elder Centipede, and he wasn't even trying to kill him, he was just trying to capture him. Fubuki in the data book says that he's stronger than King and could defeat all of the S-class at once. And Sitch says that if humanity is in danger, then Blast will likely show himself, meaning that he's probably only going to take on disaster-level god threats. So all of this means that at the minimum, Blast is above Dragon, and likely a true, genuine disaster-level god. Although it remains to be seen, there is only speculation around Blast at this point, but I think it's pretty evident that he is up there with God, around, you know, the highest of the above dragons that we have seen likely. Just my opinion, of course. So that's pretty much it for the video today, guys. Let me know what you thought about these. Let me know what you think they are. And if you liked the video, please give it a like. I also have a Patreon. It gives you access to a weekly Q&A video that I do on this channel. And if you haven't already, please subscribe as well. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you in the next one.